The early morning sea stretched out like a giant mirror reflecting the rising sun over the horizon. The salty wind blowing on my face woke me up after a long night of preparing for the trip I had been looking forward to all year. Shark fishing, something that just hearing about it made people both excited and scared. Because this fish is not only huge but also symbolizes the strength and ferocity of the ocean. And to me, it is a symbol of fear and the desire to conquer. The small silver-white boat anchored at the old harbor. The boat's body paint had faded and faded because of the sea salt and time. But the engine still roared loudly when Mr. Tu and I, an old fisherman with more than 30 years of experience, pushed the boat out of the calm water, gradually moving towards the open sea, where he said that last night he saw the black back of a shark half the size of the boat. We loaded the boat with all sorts of things. Carbon fiber fishing rods nearly 3 meters long, fishing lines as thick as fingers, baited hooks made of fresh mackerel, ice chests filled with live bait, cans of fresh water, first aid kits, knives, flashlights, even an old radio that crackled and had a weak reception. There were only 2 people on deck. The sound of the engine roaring and the waves hitting the side of the boat formed a solemn rhythm that made my heart beat faster. The further we got from the mainland, the darker the water became, from blue to dark blue and then to an almost ink-like color. The smell of salt, the smell of wind, the smell of loneliness all mixed together. Mr. Tu took a drag of his cigarette and said with a faint smile, "When you see the sea so silent that it's scary, that's when the sharks are nearby." I looked around, and sure enough, the water was as still as a sheet of paper. Only the sound of my heart and the sound of metal lightly hitting each other could be heard. Then suddenly, in the distance, a dark shadow passed by. Not fast but powerful, the outline of its back curved like a giant sword blade. Mr. Tu signaled me to get ready, his hands shaking slightly as he tied the bait to the hook, lowered the line into the water, feeling like throwing his hope into the abyss, waiting for a response from a creature in the depths that we will never fully understand. Time passed slowly. The sun was high, sweat was dripping, but the salty wind dried it immediately. Each wave passing by made the boat rock. I closed my eyes and imagined the shark circling the bottom. My cold eyes followed the bait. Then suddenly, the fishing line jerked as if someone was pulling it off. The whole fishing rod bent. A terrifying screech rang out. Mr. Tu shouted loudly, "I'm hooked!" And I started the battle with a strength beyond imagination. My arms were numb, every muscle was tense. The fishing line was so tight it was about to break. The small boat was pulled around. Water splashed everywhere. I clenched my hand, gritted my teeth, feeling half scared and half excited. Each jerk of the shark was like a challenge. Mr. Tu adjusted. Moray eels, also known as moray eels, are one of the creatures that live on the ocean floor, causing a lot of curiosity and interest to people. They have long, flexible, smooth bodies like silk, looking both mysterious and dangerous. The colors of moray eels are very diverse, depending on the sea area and the type of coral they live in. Some are brown-yellow like sand. Some are dark green, mottled with snake skin patterns, making anyone who sees them for the first time feel both scared and attracted. They often hide in crevices of rocks or coral reefs, only sticking their heads out to observe their prey. Their eyes are small but sharp, always moving quickly to catch any movement in the water. Morays usually live alone, rarely swimming in groups. They hunt mainly at night, using their extremely sensitive sense of smell to detect prey in the dark. When it spots small fish, shrimp or squid, morays dart out like arrows, grabbing them with their special double jaws that have 2 layers of teeth, one in the main mouth and one deep inside the throat, helping to pull the prey in. This makes morays one of the ocean's most formidable predators. However, despite their ferocious appearance, morays rarely attack humans unless provoked. Experienced divers often say that if they know how to approach them gently, morays can even get used to and not be afraid of people. In culinary terms, morays are not as popular as other fish because of their predatory nature and their muscular bodies. However, in many Asian countries, especially Japan, Korea, and some coastal areas of Vietnam, morays are considered a rare delicacy. Moray eel meat has a characteristic toughness, sweetness and aroma, and when properly prepared, it will have a rich flavor without being fishy. Coastal people often catch morays with traps or hand lines at night. When caught, they have to be extremely careful because morays' teeth are as sharp as razor blades. And if they are careless, they will be bitten and bleed deeply. After being caught, morays are often processed right on the boat to keep them fresh. By lightly cutting along the belly, removing all the organs, then washing them many times with seawater to remove the slime. The cutting and processing of morays is also an art. Because moray skin is thick and slimy, people often blanch it quickly in boiling water to remove the slime. Then scrape it clean. The meat is separated from the spine with a sharp knife, sliced into thin slices or cut into pieces depending on the dish. For people in central Vietnam, especially in Quang Ngai and Binh Dinh, grilled moray eel is an unforgettable taste. They marinate the eel with minced lemongrass, chili, pepper, a little fish sauce, then clamp it on a grill over hot coals. The aroma rises up, the skin is crispy, the meat inside is white, imbued with the salty taste of the sea. In Japan, moray is thinly sliced into sashimi or grilled kabayaki style like unagi freshwater eel. Creating a unique and expensive dish in high-class restaurants. Moray eel meat is not only delicious but also rich in nutrients. According to research, 100 grams of moray meat contains more protein than most other white fish species, while also providing many omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins A, D and minerals such as zinc, iron, and calcium. People in coastal areas believe that eating sea eel helps increase vitality, warm the body, and is good for bones and joints. However, due to the nature of the meat being easily contaminated if left for a long time or processed incorrectly. Moray needs to be processed thoroughly and cooked completely. Some moray species contain small amounts of toxins in the liver and skin. So professional chefs often remove these two parts to avoid risk. Not only used as food, moray eel is also an interesting subject of biological research. Flexible body structure, ability to hide and ambush prey have inspired many underwater robot models and studies on flexible movement mechanisms in narrow environments. In the folklore of many countries, morays also appear as a symbol of hidden strength, soft on the outside but potentially dangerous. A metaphor for patience and flexibility in nature. Ki luon bian Moray duok lam sak. Fan thit trang nyan heen ra nu nung tho ko san chak kua loai shine vat da quen voi suk f kua dai duong sao tham. Nguoi ta noi thit Moray ko vi karch han voi kathay loai korthong thung. Kong kor beo nung lai ko du dova vi ngot hao kio dai noi dai luoi. Chin vi vei, moi vung lai ko kathach che bian ring de tan dung hong vi du. O nung lang chai ven bian min trung. Noying guoi dan quen thuok voi kathay loai kor doi. Luon Moray thung duok coi lemorn in quai chi dan cho dipla hay dai karch. Koing guoi ti nao lao luon Moray voi rao rung. Chuoi hor va mang chua, nuk lao soi len. Vying got tiet ra tu song hoa queen kung vi chua than. K nong kuo. Kien I nem mok lan kung no mai. Konin guoi san in lai ti morn har luon Moray now voi han law. Tu so va chuk ruo gung. And trong nung dem lan nghe am sar nguoi. Nguoi in hat lai ko kathach thung thuk karch. Ho goi Moray larutsabo va coi no lemorn dak san vung kanzai. Moray duok hor mong. Chan nhanh quay nuk nong roi nung vau nuk dor land thit san lai. Sao du cam voi tuing gung hok nuk chan pha muoi. Morn ne doi hoi dai bep phi ko kai thuat zu lai no va dao bentaye doi. Noi kong, mieng thit shay bai rosh nor va mat hong vai. Nu ena hango asaka kon thuk bu Moray nung than theo ku kabiaki. Uop voi nuk tuing, miran va duong, roi nung den khi da zem vang. Mui tom lan toa, vi beo kua Moray queen voi lop nuk sop man got kien nguoi in kong the quen. Nung dai bep kai ku noi rang Moray la loai luon, ko kortin, ko che bian nung khi than kong. Hong vi kua no vuat xa kathay loai luon karch. The night sea is like a giant black silk, stretching endlessly in the middle of the silent ocean, with only the pale yellow lights flickering from the squid fishing boats of Taiwanese fishermen. From afar, they look like a floating city, shimmering with halogen lights shining on the water surface, reflecting into thousands of shimmering pieces of light. In that light, mysterious creatures of the deep sea begin to move, including the monster that humans are always both afraid of and curious about, the giant squid. Creatures by chance. When a squid is attracted by the light and bait and rises to the surface. Taiwanese fishermen are one of the oldest and most skilled communities in squid fishing. ports like Suao, Keelung or Donggang, hundreds of specialized ships depart each year, crossing the Luzon Strait, heading to the nutrient-rich waters of the Pacific Ocean. Those ships are not the small wooden boats of old imagination. They are modern fishing machines, tens of meters long, equipped with automatic squid fishing systems, hundreds of high-power, high-pressure lamps and hydraulically controlled fishing lines. When night falls, the ships turn on their lights, the blue-white light shining down on the sea surface, attracting schools of squid from the deep. The squid are fascinated by the light, thinking it is the moon or bioluminescent creatures. So they drift closer, and when they touch the fake flashing lures, usually made of transparent plastic, with LED bulbs or fiber optics, they are immediately hooked to the tentacles. The automatic fishing system will pull the line, lift the squid into the air and swing it hard to drop it into the container. The whole process is continuous. Hundreds of squid are brought up every hour. The sound of the tractor, of the water splashing, combined with the sound of the waves creating a unique rhythm of the fishing night. But not only ordinary squid. Sometimes fishermen recount times when they encounter unusually large squid, longer than a person, with a dark red body, eyes sparkling under the lights. Some say it is Humboldt squid, a ferocious species of the Pacific Ocean. Others believe it is a real giant squid. Lost in the shallow water, no matter what species it is. For them, each time is a real battle. The giant squid thrashed its tentacles against the deck, spewing black ink like smoke, as the crew struggled to keep the line from breaking. Some were injured, some lost fingers trying to pull the struggling creature. But once the squid was brought up, everyone silently watched it, a creature both beautiful and terrifying. A symbol of the mysterious ocean, Taiwanese squid fishing boats operate almost year-round, moving with the squid migration season. The peak season usually begins from April to October, when warm water flows through the eastern waters of Taiwan, bringing abundant food sources. The boats will follow the Kuroshio Current, sometimes as far as Japan, Micronesia or even the South Pacific. Each trip lasts for months, with the crew living, eating, sleeping and working right on the narrow deck, amid spaces filled with the smell of salt and engine oil, to keep the squid fresh. The boats are equipped with a cooling system using cold seawater, each tank holding up to tons of product. Each squid, after being pulled up, is quickly sorted, cleaned, and frozen in minutes. Every night, fishing lights are turned on from dusk until dawn, creating a strange scene, dozens of brightly lit boats lined up in the middle of the Black Sea. Like a string of falling stars on the water, it is a sight that only those who have been to sea far away can see, both majestic and lonely. Despite advances in technology, squid fishing is still a harsh job. fishermen have to face unpredictable weather, strong winds and waves, and sometimes mechanical breakdowns in the middle of the vast ocean. There are nights when they catch nothing, only the light of the lights reflecting on the white-capped waves. But for them, the sea is life, is faith, and squid, big or small, is a gift that the ocean gives after many hardships. The old fishermen on Taiwanese squid fishing boats often say that light is the soul of this profession. Without light, no squid can stand up. Therefore, the lighting system on the boat is the most valuable asset, maintained more carefully than the main engine. They call it the artificial sun in the middle of the night sea. Because hundreds of halogen and LED bulbs with tens of kilowatts of power shine so brightly that they can be seen from satellites. That light attracts not only squid but also countless plankton and small fish, making the sea under the boat as lively as an underground city. Squid are intelligent and flexible predators. They move by jet propulsion, spraying water from the muscular funnel on their bodies to rush forward extremely fast. When they see the light and the bait shadow, they think it is a small fish and rush to attack. At that moment, the steel hook pierces the tentacle. The sensor on the fishing line detects the vibration. The hydraulic system automatically pulls it up, throws the squid into the bucket, and the fishing line is lowered again. Each ship can operate hundreds of these lines at the same time, creating a continuous chain that never stops all night. The workers on board, mostly Taiwanese, Filipino or Indonesian, take turns working 12 hours a day. Their eyes dark from lack of sleep, their skin sunburned, but their hands always agile. Every time a large squid is pulled up, the whole deck is in chaos. Some holding sticks, some holding nets, some preparing scalpels. Because if not controlled quickly, the squid can whip its tentacles so hard that it knocks down machinery or injures people. They joke say that giant squids are like sea devils, not only big but also have strange powers. The feeling when looking into its eyes, big, round, deep, is like being stared back by the ocean. Every time the ship returns to port, people at the port gather to watch the goods being unloaded. The large squids are weighed, classified, then transferred straight to cold storage for export to Japan, Korea, and even Europe. Taiwan is one of the world's leading producers of squid, and much of it comes from ships that sail thousands of miles. Although the trade is lucrative, few can stand its harshness. High waves, sudden storms, and long periods of solitude at sea cause many to quit after just a few seasons. There are nights when the sea is so rough, the ship tilts as if it will capsize, and waves crash white hot on the deck. But the captain keeps the lights on, because if they are turned off, all the squid will leave. In those moments, the fishermen can only cling to the line, silently praying for the night to pass. Young people are often eager to go squid fishing because the pay is high. But after a few trips they understand that the price of that money is sweat, tears, and sometimes blood. Each ship can stay at sea for 3 months, sometimes 6 months, before returning to port. They communicate with the mainland by radio or satellite phone, only occasionally hearing the voices of their loved ones. Someone said that one night they saw a giant squid surface near the side of the ship. almost as long as the deck. Its body as dark red as blood. Its tentacles wrapped around the anchor rope. The light shone on it. It sprayed out a jet of black water, then sank deep. They watched in silence, feeling as if they had just touched a part of a legend. Many oceanographic experts had followed the Taiwanese ship to study, because only fishermen often encountered large squids. They installed underwater cameras, used artificial bait with sensors to record images. Thanks to that, for the first time, the world had a video of a giant squid living in the wild, not a drifting carcass. The scene was shocking. The squid was as big as a small bus. Its tentacles stretched out softly but strongly. Its eyes lit up when reflecting the light. Those images helped people understand that giant squids were not monsters like in legends.